Hello and welcome to another episode of Fascination Street. As you can see, it's me, Sarah, on my own yet again, and it's another week of Invisible Illnesses and Disabilities. Now, I didn't tell you who we had on because I didn't want to give it away. It's one of everyone's favourite person in the chat room. Well, you're in all of them. You seem to be so well adjusted in all the chat rooms. And I want to give your name away, but it's Bee Gees, it's Brooke.
Yay! Hello, everybody.
Thank you so much for joining me. You are an angel.
Thank you.
We've been talking for so long, haven't we? And we just haven't had the chance to actually up in person and get together and have a proper old chinwag. And we get to do it with everyone else.
It takes a lot of guts to do what you do. Like, it's pretty, you're putting yourself out there. So it's like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's weird to be here because I would never normally do this. So, you know.
You touched the plug. Oh. Hang on a minute. Little's just pulled a plug out and he's touching the computer. That's it. It's okay.
Got it?
Yeah. If he touches the plug, it'll go dull. And it's like, no. Are you disappearing now, son?
If you want me to.
I think it's probably a good idea, seeing as you keep touching my plugs.
I won't touch one.
That's one too many. Disappear slide. My show.
Bye, everyone.
He's going to go and play in his room because Daddy's late off the boat again.
Oh.
So he's waiting.
Bye.
He's waiting for Daddy to get home so he can go and play on the Xbox with him.
Oh, yeah. I like a bit of Xboxing, so.
See, I've never got into it.
I'm a tragic gamer from way back.
Those two are just madness, honestly.
I'm possibly like a really big tomboy at heart. So I was into cars and bikes when I was really, really young, and gaming, anything electronic, computing, loved it. So I'm terrible. I'm a tragic. As soon as I hear, I'm like, oh, what are they playing? Yeah.
Brooke, would you tell me what your invisible illness or disability is, please?
All right. So I guess I was thinking about this last night, what I was going to say. And unfortunately, my life has been a little bit difficult. So I've had a couple of car accidents where I've been permanently injured as far as neck and back issues go. So you get significant pain, I guess, from that just on a daily basis, and you learn to adjust and live with that. So I've been living with that for probably about 20-something years now, 22 years. And you learn to cope, and you have your good days and you have your bad days. But I hurt myself at work. I work in a library and I love it. I hurt myself at work in July of 2017, and it's a long story, but I hit a door basically, and I hit my shoulder and I hit my hand, and I don't know what happened. I had all these tests and there was tingling down my arm all the time and pain, like if you've had nerve pain, I guess you know what it's like. But yeah, it was phenomenal. And I started going to see, I was put on work cover, which is like an Australian version of like an insurance scheme. And so I got put on, they couldn't find what the issue was, which frustrated me so badly. Got put on Lyrica. So and I got
gabapentin or gabapentin, isn't it?
Yeah. So I've been on that for, well, I guess probably 16 months. And I fought for everything that I could do. And nothing could be found, you know. And I think that was more frustrating than anything, because that they couldn't find the reason why they've got me on the nerve pain medication. So that really, you know, you go and see all these doctors and they start to tell you that it's actually in your head, you're not feeling the pain, and you just want to slap them, honestly, like, because somebody who's, yeah,
that's the pain I have.
There you go, all the time. But yeah, like, somebody who's ever had chronic pain would never tell you that the pain's in your head, ever. I mean, like when you were saying it's like a toothache, you know, it is like a constant toothache, and it's bang, 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 and it's just there, and you move and you do something. I mean, for me, like, doing my job was really hard, like carrying books, moving books around, that type of stuff. You know, it's really, it's changed my life. And it changed me really badly in the beginning because I was just nasty. I just couldn't handle it. I was really snappy and go off the top on stuff. Like, it was really horrible, and I really didn't like what I was becoming. And that's when they found the Lyrica I got put on, and probably within 5 days I was like, oh my God, this is great. It actually worked for me, like, because I know it doesn't work for everybody. And I was like, man, if I could do a cartwheel, I would, but I can't. So, and I was super happy, and things kept going. And I thought, okay, well, you know, what else can I do? And I was doing exercising and doing this, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And anyway, my partner passed away. He died in his sleep a year ago, like on the 21st of November. So that threw a spanner in the works because, you know, he was cutting my food for me, you know, like all the little things that someone else does. And when unfortunately I found him, because obviously he died in his sleep, that created a whole nother echelon of next level stuff to deal with mentally. Obviously, post-traumatic stress disorder is probably the thing, and it's the triggers and all of that. So you've got this nerve pain, which is managed with this pain medication. Then you've got life going on in the background with everything else that's going on. Oh, I don't want to get upset. You know, so like organising funerals and dealing with lawyers and stuff like that gets in the way as well. But yeah, like, it's been a year, and I didn't ever think that I would ever be on YouTube talking about this. So, but you know, that's another invisible one, is the post-traumatic stress. It's the anxiety, it's the depression, it's all of that comes with it. So, yeah, it's a daily struggle, you know. Like, so, you know, every day is a new day. Like, I constantly try to live in that frame of mind. I have been doing so much meditation work, you know, so I've done 2 courses which are accredited. So for about, I think it was 15 weeks all up. And the second course, I did a mindfulness-based stillness meditation, and then I've done a guided imagery course. And the guided imagery course was really good because we went through a whole bunch of stuff, and one of the biggest things was the forgiveness and not living in fear and the fear projection. So, you know, like, you get asked to go out somewhere and you go like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm only going to be good for about an hour, and then I'm going to have to come home. And you're already projecting that fear when it hasn't even happened. Yeah. So it's trying to sort of live in that, living in the now, focusing on right now, not thinking about the past, not thinking about the future. Philip Blair, if you're out there, he's been awesome. He's been sending me so many like sort of like talks and things like that, and which I've been listening to, which I think are really cool. I think he's really lovely. You know, and just for me, getting through just a day was jumping onto YouTube. So I had a lot of time off of work. Sorry, my nose is running. And I spent a lot of that time on YouTube educating myself, but also jumping onto shows. You know, I think the one that sort of hooked me in was like CW Chanter, like his show. I don't even know how I found him, but I think I must have been like Googling or watching David Wilcock or something like that, you know, because I have to have a laugh somehow. And the forehead is real, guys. But but yeah, like I found Chanter, and then Explaining Esoterica, and then a few other ones like Zen from Unspirituality. I watched a couple of shows of his just recently about suicide, and I've never been suicidal, but there are times where you're pretty close. You know, it's not like I ever want to hurt myself or anything like that, but there's times that you just want to throw your hands up in the air and say I'm done, like, and it's okay, like it's actually all right. That's human to do that.
It's an emotion you have to go through.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's crazy because, you know, like listening to all the stuff that was happening with you last week, and I could just relate, like, so it's just nice to connect with other people that you can relate to. And this is like an outlet, you know, YouTube is like a bit of an outlet. You have a bit of fun, you have you can chat to people, and it's a nice environment for me. Like, I find it a happy environment. I'm a laugh. I like to have a laugh, and I'm a bit of a prankster, and some would say a little bit quick-witted, but not all the time. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay, but I take after my dad in that aspect. But yeah, it's kind of I don't know. That's sort of me in a nutshell.
Well, I thank you so much for opening your heart. What an amazing story, and I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
And just having the anniversary, that must have been one of the hardest things you've had to go through.
Yeah, but every day is hard. Hey, every day.
Absolutely. But seeing how you've been in our chat room and in other chat rooms, you've been the sunshine of the talk. You know, you've put the jokes in. You seem not to let things get to you, although I know that can be a persona. Obviously, from my perspective, like you say from last week, it can be you put on a face.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The people see until possibly it gets to a point where there's no more fill in the tank and it just has to overflow.
The training wheels fall off.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see people on the bad days.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, you know,
really have to struggle.
100%. You know, like I was with my partner for 25 years. I was 15 when I got with him, so I'm 41 now, and I've never been on my own. So that was a massive fear of mine as well. So it's kind of readjusting to life and readjusting to everything and doing everything on your own, which is just, you know, so unheard of. And like, we're into racing. Well, I'm into racing now. You know, it's so hard to not say we, because I've been doing that for 25 years. No kids. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but we have toys. So cars, go-karts, very fast cars. Grew up on a racetrack. My other half used to race motocross, and then got into production bike racing. So yeah, we did that for a little while, and you know, so my whole life has been blokey stuff. So that's all I've sort of known. So it's really weird to, when something goes wrong with the car now, I used to be like, hey Mark, can you fix this for me? And now I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to call. Like, I call one of his best friends. Like, I've got a little Astra, which is my dog transporter, and I had to call one of his mates on Monday, and I'm like, man, I can't get the windows up. I don't know what's going on, this stupid thing. And they're like the Vauxhalls that you guys would have over there.
Yeah.
And So I took it down. He fixed it in 10 minutes. And, like, I just sat there and I got so upset because it was like, man, I don't have anyone to fix that anymore. And so it's just, I guess, a massive readjustment. I think Jim had some guy on Fascination Street called, I think his name was David, and he was doing mantras and stuff, positive vibes, and it was a while ago.
Yes.
Can't remember. I think his name was David, but like I've been reading a whole, because I work in a library, you know, I've got books everywhere. Reading stuff about mantras and starting the day with a positive outlook, and that's really, really, really valuable and helpful. And also just like when you're having a really bad time, to just breathe. And I know that sounds really weird, but you know, you hold the breath and you know, 4, 4, 4, 4. It's like a little square, and you're in, you hold, you're out, you wait, and then you're in your, and that kind of really does help. But yeah, I do also, on the flip side, I remember sitting in this psychologist's office, them telling me the pains in my head and telling me this analogy about this shark bite victim. They got their leg bitten off by a shark, didn't feel it, knew that something had happened, crawled out to the beach until they sort of turned around and looked and they didn't have a leg and there was blood going everywhere. That's when the pain kicked in. So our mind controls all the pain. And I was kind of like, what planet are you on? Like, this pain is real. Like, so when I look back at that conversation now, I kind of think, to a degree, yes, I understand what they were trying to say. But when you're in that much pain, there's no way you can turn it off. Like, because they're basically telling you can turn your pain off. And while I don't believe you can do that, I believe that meditation and the mantras can help with your frame of mind, which does help with reacting to your pain, if that makes sense. Yeah, but I couldn't see that at the time.
No, when someone says it's all in your head, like you say, that's the first thing they say, and the first thing you want to do is stomp on their toe and say, now tell me where the pain is. Tell me it's all in your head.
100%. Yeah.
Because it's not. You know, you can specify exactly where the pain is, what type of pain it is, whether it's a burning, whether it's a prickling, whether it's a stabbing, whether it's a constant ache. You can tell them exactly what it is. And you expect them to be able to give a diagnosis. And when they say there's no diagnosis, we don't know what's wrong with you, it's one of the most frustrating things, because all you want is them to say, look, this is what it is. This is where it's coming from. And that will help so much, because you have that diagnosis. And you could say, look, okay, this is my problem. This is where it stems from. Yes, it can be nerve endings. It can be anything through. I mean, your nerve endings, yes, they all go to the brain, but they go through the body as well. They're not just in the brain. You know, it's so frustrating to hear a specialist say, I'm going to send you to a psychiatrist because it's all in your head. It has to be.
Yeah, I went through 3 specialists on my work cover, which is finished, because I went back to work. I didn't realise going back to work actually ended my claim, but anyway. 3 specialists, and all of them said, oh, it's going to take time. This is early days. And I think at that stage we were sort of 9 months in, and I was just like, time? Like, this is like, how can you put me on nerve pain medication but not be able to tell me where it's coming from or what's causing it? Like, and I had every test under the sun. Yeah, it's just been, I got so frustrated when I'd gone back to work. So I had about, I think I had about 8 or 9 months off. It's a bit of a blur. I was lucky. I work for local government, so we had an insurance protection part of our income scheme. So I was covered by insurance for the time that I had off, which I'm really happy and blessed for, and very, 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 very lucky, because I know not everyone is in a situation like that. But it gave me time to start working on myself and, use the time wisely. Of course, the first sort of 6 months, I think I was living in this surreal state of, is this really happening? Like this is, what the fuck? Like,
total denial.
Total. It was just, and at times, sometimes if I'm getting a little bit upset or whatever, I try to like just block everything, because I just think I've just got to like focus on now, because like sometimes it's too hard to comprehend what's happened. And like it's one of those things where probably not until the last month I've really turned a corner, I guess. Like I went to my doctor, and I my work cover thing had been finished, and yet I still was on Lyrica, and everything was still there, and everything was, but apparently I was all right to go back to work, whatever. And I decided to go 3 days a week, because I was working full time. I was managing a like a library branch, so I certainly wasn't able to cope with that type of, and it is pressure, believe it or not. It's crazy in a library. Some of the things that go on in a library you would never ever believe in your life. But yeah, so I went 3 days a week. So I'm currently doing some project work, and that's working quite well for me. But yeah, I went to my doctor, and I just said, look, I can't live like this. I cannot continue to do all of this on my own with this type of pain, like, because I've got it was his shoulder that's the issue. Anyway, he goes, all right, we'll send you for another scan. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, we've done this. And so I went in and had a scan, and this was in October, and there was possible cortisone injection if they find anything. So she does the scan, and they found like this bursa in my shoulder, which is fine. Had it when they ultrasounded me back when I first injured myself. And anyway, I put a cortisone in, and what was happening was that every time I was moving my arm more than like 60 degrees, it was just catching on a nerve and going all the way down my hand. So we'd found what the issue is, which I was just like, oh my God, hallelujah. So I've been slowly coming off my Lyrica since then. So it's taken quite a long time, because you actually I'm dropping like 25 milligrams every couple of weeks. But even that knocks you about, like, because it's a strong drug. Like, it's super, super, super strong. So, so I'm trying to come off of that really slowly. But also on the flip side, I'm on antidepressants, as dealing with this anxiety and post-traumatic stuff. So that, I think, I'll be working on. I want to get off of it, but I know that I don't like taking drugs, like unless they're good ones. But like but like, I don't like taking prescription medication. So I don't want to be on that, and I know that that's not the answer. I think the answer to everything, anxiety and depression wise, is within you. But there's no drug that's gonna. Everyone looks for the silver bullet, the magic fix. They want that. Can I just take that and make it all go away? I wish that was out there. I wish that existed, but unfortunately it doesn't. So life goes on, and you've got to continue doing what you do. But I guess I'm kind of lucky in that sense that they've found something finally, because going through my car accidents previously, I'd gone through 2 years of grief with them with the same bloody shoulder, believe it or not, trying to find what was going on. So I actually think that had an impact on when I actually hurt myself at work, with the pre-existing injury. But yeah, like that's out of everything that's happened, that's a shining light for me, having a diagnosis almost, like it's been really hard, like when you don't get one, but you know that there's something wrong and you know your own body. That's the killer. I think that's more than anything. That's when people start saying, oh, it's in your head, it's in your head. And it's like, oh my God, like I know what's going on in my body and I'm telling you that there's something wrong. I got to the point where I'd go to the doctors and I'd just end up crying every time. They must have thought I was a complete basket case because you're just so frustrated. Like you're just so, I wish I could like give you my pain just for 5 minutes and then you tell me that's in my head. Like
Absolutely.
I wish that's what you, because these people are sitting back in their chair, diddle-diddle on their computer. They've probably never had chronic pain ever, and they're the one advising you what to do, and they've got no idea. Like that's what shits me about our medical system. They need to do some bedside manner. How you actually treat people like human beings rather than just a little money figure that walks in the door and goes, oh, well, there's $300 coming my way. Wicked. Like that. We're people. And I think that's something that doctors, if you're listening, you should take a step back and actually think every one of these people have lives and everyone's got their normal shit that goes on. Then they've got this pain on top of it, which does make it hard. It's not easy. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I totally understand. My doctors, they know me by first name. They know to come and wake me up when I'm waiting, because you can guarantee with the amount of meds that I'm on, I'm asleep in the chair waiting to be called in. So they don't actually call my name now. They actually look for me. If I'm asleep, they'll come over and nudge me. If I'm awake, they'll just go, come on then, Sarah, it's your turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, they know me very well down there, and it took like 6 years to get a diagnosis for me, because they were just like, cannot be still wrong after all this time. Everything should have gone back to normal. And I'm like, well, I'm telling you, it's not.
Yeah. And that's hard because, 6 years is a long time. I waited 2.5 years with my car accident, and I had glandular fever before that. I had that for 2.5 years, and that was a really tough one because you can't there is no cure for that. That's a lifer. That's in your blood forever, and that has affected my liver, like you have that chronic fatigue, you have all of that stuff going on. And because I had it for so long, I had my tonsils out when I was 21, and they said, oh, you'll never get a sore throat again, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, it was a load of lies.
That is a load of rubbish. I only had my tonsils in October, and I still get sore throats now.
Yes.
And I had it taken out as well. No, I still get sore throats.
I know, it's such a load.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that has contributed to, I guess, the beginning of how you manage your pain. I was really young back then, and I was 17, and all my friends were going out and having fun, and I was stuck there. I actually drank once, and I made myself so sick. Had to call a locum doctor out to the house, and he actually said, I have never given a doctor's certificate for a hangover. You are my first. And I was like, I didn't realise that you shouldn't go that hard. Like, because I was uneducated, I was 17, Christ, I was having fun. But, so that was the start of I think that was just the start of the journey that I'm on. And I call it a journey because who knows what's next, But yeah, like that was a real hard one to cope with. Like, I think that's possibly where all my depression and things started, because you get quite isolated because, oh, she can't go out, she gets too tired too quick, like it's all that. And that was the truth. You just couldn't do it. You couldn't function. But yeah, like I got into local government. I was actually a dog catcher and a parking inspector back in the day. So that was my favourite job. I loved that the most because I really love animals. while you see the good side, you actually see a really bad side and a terrible side of what people can do. But I started owning Akitas, and so I've got an Akita now, and he's my baby. He's sleeping over there. He's huge. But yeah, I really love the challenge of what a big dog can give you, and just learning languages and like body language and tones and things that the dogs hear. So when I had my car accident, I actually couldn't lift anymore. So I wasn't able to continue doing that. And I had almost like a re-trigger of glandular fever. I think it was all the stress and everything, and the pain, and so life has been a little bit spicy. So and I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad that it has happened, because I wouldn't be where I am now. So I was really devastated when I had to give my job away. They hated me. Like, I used to work down at a place called Salisbury, and I was the fat bitch with red hair. So I was just like, that's how I was known, because I was the parking inspector out there as well. So and I used to have bright red hair. So when you've got a reputation, people love you. So but yeah, like, I had a lot of fun doing that job. But yeah, and you try to help the animals as much as you can. But yeah, so then I moved into sort of customer service sort of work, and I really didn't like the customer service side of things, because the abuse that you cop, so you go to work and you're having a bad day yourself, but you've got to work, and then you get someone rips up a fine and throws it in your face, or verbally has a go at you because their life's shit and they're having one of those bad days. And you do learn to not take it personally, have it sort of Teflon off you and all of that. But I got out of that luckily and moved into a library, and it's probably the best move I've ever made, because it's community focused. So when you were talking about volunteers and stuff, I've got heaps of volunteers that work for us. Particularly, I had 4 lovely ones that they've all since retired because they're 80. But the value that volunteers bring. So when you can't work, we treat volunteers like employees. So you're part of our family, So, and I hope that you get that when you do your work, because it's so valuable. And I don't think, working in the community in the library, I always keep in the back of my mind, this person that I'm speaking to right now, I might be the only conversation they have for a whole week. And you try to make it as positive and as nice as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of your background, and regardless of like Sarah said, when I put my face on in the morning, it's kind of like I put my face on every morning because I need to. But I put on my lanyard when I go to work, right? And as soon as I put that on, the work hat comes on, the Brooke hat comes off. My name's Brooke, everybody, not BGs, but BG is my initials. And oh yeah, I like the BGs, but I'm not into the BGs. That's just my nickname. And but yeah, no, you don't have to be the star sign Libra to work in a library. Enjoy being, and hello and kia ora to you. I'm a Capricorn, believe it or not. And anyway, I've lost my train of thought.
I'll tell you what, I'll go over a couple of the questions. There's a couple of questions that came in the first part of when we were talking. So,
yep.
Renee has asked, do you have any side effects from Lycra? It's kept me from going on it. Have you suffered from any side effects that you are aware of?
Yes. Weight gain. Weight gain, I've probably put on 20 kilos in the last year. But for me, I had to weigh it up. I need to function and I need to go to work versus put some weight on. I know how to lose the weight. but I need to get through this. And weight gain was a big one. You definitely feel very spacey. Hey, Dex.
Definitely at first you feel very spacey until you
Very, very spacey. Probably the first, like I took it on a Thursday night. I went to the doctor and I thought, bugger it, I'm taking it now. And I actually had to call in sick the next day. I got up and I was like, I said to my other half, I'm like, I can't drive. This is great, but I can't drive, you know. So I'm sitting there and very spacey, but that wears off. So if you can push through that for probably 5 days, because once you push through that, the pain relief comes, and it's like, for me it was like a revelation. I was just like, oh, this is fantastic. Like but yeah, the weight gain, and sometimes you can get some headaches and stuff like that, but it's not, I guess everybody's different. So what I would suggest is to give it a try, because it doesn't work for everybody. But if you can give it a month, and if it's not working, then stop it. But if you really need that break, even if it is for a little bit of time, I'd take it, because for me, I really, really needed it. So, yeah, so I took it, and obviously I'm still on it slightly. The biggest fear, another fear, is coming off of it and the pain coming back. So I've been seeing an acupuncturist since May this year, and she's changed my life. That's when I was asking, have you tried acupuncture? Because not everybody responds to everything differently. Some people go to chiro, some people have physio, some people have hydro. I like to smoke hydro, but it's just sort of it's hard because everybody's different, so everybody's journey and how they react to things is different. But I've found acupuncture to be like amazing. I believe that we're energy. I believe that, you know, all the energy flows through your body. And my acupuncturist said, "Wow, Brooke, when I met you, you were messed up." And I was like, "Tell me about it." Like, you know, like life was a struggle, you know. But she's got me back on track, and I was seeing her 2 times a week, paying all of that was coming out of my pocket, because I just couldn't be bothered putting it through work cover. It's just the biggest raw ever. But yeah, like I found she was really, you need to get off of Lyrica. Like, everybody that I talk to is like, get off of that. That is the worst drug, blah, 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 blah. But hey, it changed my life as far as I could function again, because the pain that I was in was just mind altering. Like, I was horrible. Like, I'm a bitch normally. I was a complete bitch. Mm-hmm. And I had a complaint put in against me at work, and that's when I knew it was serious. Like, I said to my boss, you know, like, I'm not trying to be like this. This is me trying to keep my shit together to keep coming to work, you know. And so then that's when I sort of saw specialist number 2, and he prescribed the Lyrica, so I got straight onto it. But yeah, like, the side effects sometimes outweigh the benefits, so it just depends. So it's really hard. It's a real catch-22, because nobody wants to be in pain, but sometimes the solutions create more problems. So and for me, like, I've weight gained up and down my entire life, so I know that I can lose that weight again. Like, that's not an issue. But yeah, it's funny. I feel a lot clearer in my head coming off of it as well. So there must be a component of it. I mean, because it is quite a strong drug, that fuzzes you, I guess, like, doesn't make you as quick as you used to be, kind of thing. But I'm noticing that now because everyone's sort of saying, "Wow, Brooke, you know, everything's you're looking good, everything's going well." I was like, "Man, what have I changed? Like, I've come off of Lyrica, so I'm down to like 25 milligrams morning and night, and I was on 300. So, and 600s feel like pretty severe pain." But yeah, I was really worried. Like, I kept saying to the doctors, I don't want to put any more weight on. Like, this is really affecting my weight. But it's like, at that stage, they had no idea what was wrong with me. They couldn't determine where the nerve pain was coming from. And it could be this, it could be that. We can't test for it, rah, rah. And I was just like, oh, this is just, you know, it gets a little bit too hard sometimes. So you just take the tablet and shut up. But I think I decided I needed to take control. So, and then some people can't. Some people have got, this is like, life is going to be tough and it's going to, so you've got to find what works best for you, for the individual. But yeah, like I said, I mean, acupuncture has probably been a saviour for me. I just sort of go with the flow, try and, you know, wake up and you see how you're feeling. I don't know about you guys, but when the weather changes, like, I can flare something chronically. So, you know, we've got some really strange weather going on in Adelaide. So it's really cold and really hot. Like, today's meant to be 40 and I think yesterday was 29, and yet a couple of days before that it was like 20 degrees. So we're having these real weird fluctuations in temp, and I think it messes with you. I don't know if it's the air pressure or whatever it is, but, you know, you start to get the aches in your neck and your back or whatever. So
yeah. We're going into winter time, so wake up in the morning and the car is frozen. It's, you get in the car and it's -1 outside. So yeah, it's pretty cold here, and when it gets damp as well, certainly noticed that with the arthritis in the back.
Yes.
It really, as soon as it gets into the bones, that's when you feel it, and it's like everything starts seizing up and it doesn't move as fluently as it should do. And yeah, all the aches, pains, you feel them all everywhere.
Definitely. Yeah.
The Lyrica, yeah, there's, you see, I have difficulties distinguishing between what is actually a side effect from that and what is the side effect from the morphine I'm on. So it's difficult because obviously there's so many medications that are going into me, although they all have different side effects, but they all have some common side effects, like with the drowsiness, the dry mouth. Oh my God, the dry mouth. You're constantly drinking all the time. I mean, I drink pints of tea at a time because oh my God, it's ridiculous. But then if you come off Lyrica too quickly, they say you can have a psychotic breakdown, which is why it has to be done in 25s at a time. You can't just drop from 300 to 200 because you could just lose your shit completely.
Yeah, that is true. One of my friends, he's got neck nerve pain, and he was on 300 and he just went cold turkey, and he flipped out. Like, my friend messaged me and he's like, man, like, this guy needs some help. And I was like, shit, I'll call him. And then he came over and I was like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? You're right. And he's like, oh, I've just went cold turkey on my Lyrica. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the worst thing you can do. He's like, yeah, I know that now, but my doctor said it was okay. I'm like, your doctor's a dickhead.
Wow. And that's a difficult profession.
What a dickhead. So there's plenty of them out there, unfortunately. They've got no idea. So you've got to find a good doctor. I think that's the key as well. Like, one that can understand and work with you. I think for me, like I've got one more big hurdle to go through with my partner, and his death is undetermined at this point in time. He passed away in his sleep, and they did an autopsy and they couldn't find a cause of death. So they've had to take organs and whatnot. And so it's been a year and I'm still waiting for the coroner's office
Wow.
for an answer. So that impacts with insurance and stuff like that as well, because they won't take an interim death certificate. They'll only take a death certificate. So I think for me moving forward, that's I fear project. I'm fear projecting, but I don't want that message to come, because I have to go to my doctor to get the outcome of what's happened. That's something that I'm not looking forward to. They reckon 15 months, so I'm probably looking at around March to find that out. For me, I know it's not going to bring him back, and if it comes back undetermined, I'm prepared for that. But I'd really like to know what happened, like it's like, once again, you're not getting that diagnosis and you're not getting that answer. Yeah, I think that's just going to be another trigger. You know how people talk about triggers with post-traumatic stress? That will, I protect myself as much as I can and I prepare myself as much as I can, but, that's all you can do. So, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, my dog killed a bird the other day and I had like a massive anxiety attack over it. Like, he got a magpie and I wasn't very happy, and just having to pick the bird up and, deal with that. And it's funny what triggers you. Like, it's so random. And that's the hard thing, is that, and that's a good thing for me. Like, going back to work has been the best thing for me, like being around people. Because you can cut yourself off, you can go on, nobody understands, and there are people like you guys. I connect with you guys on so many different levels just because you're cool people. And yeah, that's right, John, like, prepare for the worst. And that's what I've done. Like, I kind of well, the worst has happened, so like, there's nothing that can be any worse than what it is. So but I'd just like to know, there's just that, wow, like, he was 45, he was fit, he never had a sick day in his life, like, that was the hard part. But like, his parents have been amazing. My sister's been amazing, my dad's been great. I lost my mum to cancer in 2015. And so, when we were talking about chemo and stuff like that, my mum had cancer for like 8 years, and she had some random, really rare form of cancer. And yeah, she decided that she'd had enough, and it ended up killing her. So and it was a horrible, horrible way to go. So, I mean, she was on a whole bunch of medications, and that's where I try to, where I just wish medical marijuana was there. There are so many people in my life that would help, with zero side effects, and you can grow it yourself. Like, you don't have to, it's not going to cost you money, like, because what it all boils down to these days is money. It's money. Follow the money. Everyone's following the money, whether it's Big Pharma or whether it's David Wilcock and Corey Good. My God, they're all following the money. They just totally find the suckers, and it's just everywhere. It's sad, because I think, like, especially in Australia, the government don't realise how much money they could be making off of it, tax, whatever. Like, look at America. It's just such a the money that's generated over there is just phenomenal. So I just wish that, we could take a leaf out of their book and go back to what the natural remedies are, because I believe the natural stuff it was here for a reason, and it's here to.
And it was used by so many people.
Yeah, 100%.
So much better was made from it, and not so many side effects like we have now from all these different medications that you have. And like Philip has put up on that he knows a website that you can enter all your prescription medications into, and it will tell you what side effects of the combinations that the doctors don't know about. I'm hoping that he's going to be able to put it out for us. Philip, let us know if you can do that. If not, then I will see if you're able to send it to me on maybe Facebook, if you're on Facebook, if not Twitter. I can copy the link and I can put it in. There's plenty of mods in the chat room as well. Genocide, Dex, Jim's in there. You can send it to any one of those and they can sort it out as well. So please, if you're able to put it into the chat. Cheers, Philip. Thank you, darling. You'll be a great help to so many people, believe me.
Yeah, that'll be amazing to find out. Because I know my doctor has got one that, because I'm on like, what a few things, but I'm on that cholesterol tablet as well. Like, so they have all the ones that interact with each other as well. So, so he's got that, but I don't know about this website. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be certainly interesting to see what counteract each other. Because I was taking 2 different types of morphine, and when I saw my chronic pain nurse, she was like, "What the hell are you doing on these 2?" And I was like, "Well, the doctor gave them to me." She said, "Yes, but one is cancelling out the other, so no wonder you're in absolute agony all the time. You've got one fighting the other, and neither of them are giving you the pain relief that you should be getting."
Yeah.
So doctors don't always know it. Sometimes it's the specialists. Like I say, this chronic pain nurse who is a hypermobility specialist as well. So she knew about the pains I had from the hypermobility, but also understanding through the chronic pain and years of learning chronic pain and how it works and things like that doctors don't know. They just know how to diagnose the simple things. That's why they send us the specialists, because they don't have the answers. They just say, "Oh, find someone who knows," and then they just palm us off to someone else. And that's their job done. Like you say, that's their 300 quid. They've got you in the chair, they've taken down what you need, and then they've palmed you off to someone else. So it's such a big, like you say, a corporation of money that they're just constantly thinking, well, what can we do next?
It's terrible. I'm sure they've probably got the cure for cancer and the cure for half the shit that's out there, but they make more money by not having that out. So why would they? And that's the hard part, is that when are they going to learn it's not about money? You can have all the money in the world, and it doesn't mean a thing if you don't have your health.
No.
Like, you don't have your friends and your family and stuff like that. Like, money doesn't mean anything, you know. It's hard, you know. Like, I've got a house, and I own 5 cars now, so 4 of them are registered and insured. So I play the hot shoe shuffle, moving cars around all the time, but that's like, I find you've got to find a little bit of joy in life. So my joy is driving like a dickhead, because all my cars are turboed and Japanese and fast. So, but yeah, like I don't know. You've got to find a release as well. Like, so for me, meditation's been a really good release. Acupuncture, but you know, someone said to me, what would make you happy, and like, what would you do as a job that you would you'd love and you'd do it forever. And I was like, driving people around in my car. Yeah, just going fast, doing laps or whatever. That would make me happy. That's where I find I get fun. And, you know, I guess I was a passenger for a lot of my life because my other half was a crazy racer boy. But like, you know, there's that thrill and that, I don't know, it's a freeness that you get. And I know it's dangerous and all of that, and there's cameras everywhere these days, so you can't get around it. But that's what I would do. Isn't that crazy? Like, isn't that weird? Like, because I'm not a normal girl. Like, I'm happy to get tires for my car as a Christmas present than anything else, you know, like it's pretty stupid. But in another sense, that's just the tomboy in me. So no, I could never do an Uber. People would want to get out, but stop. It's like, yeah, no. I've blown a few people's hair back, and they're like, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "Okay, is that enough?" Yeah, that's enough. I'm like, that's cool. But yeah, I try to have a bit of fun that way. I don't know, like, what else can you do? Like, this is life. This is the cards that you've been dealt. You've just got to sort of move on and go forward and just try and, I don't know, cope. You know, some days are worse than others. Like, you know, when I saw you last week, and you know what broke my heart was when Davey got broken into, you know, and he posted those videos, and
oh wow,
and
yeah.
my heart just broke because I was just like, he's good. He is going to hit rock bottom, or if he hasn't hit rock bottom, he's at rock bottom, you know. And I think for people like us who've been there through pain and been there through life experience, everyone's had something that where they've gone, shit, this is not good. Far out, my heart broke. So like you connect with people. So even though you don't know them, you can feel their pain. Like you can connect with them that way and just think, shit, this is real life kind of stuff. So that's what I really like about YouTube, is that you can get people's insights and you can get the good and the bad, but majority of it I think is good. What place in the world would I most like to travel? Well, there's 3. One is Egypt, one is Japan, and one is New Zealand. So they're the places that I would most like to go. So I've never been overseas.
What was that last one you said, darling?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Wow. You sent it to... Thank you, Philip. When he finds it, he's going to send it to us, and we'll be able to post it up on Fascination Street and put it on the bottom of the description. So I do appreciate that. That would be great. But yeah, thanks, and take care, Philip. We'll see you again soon.
See you, Philip.
Bless him.
Yeah, they're my top 3. That's where I'd like to go. No offense to the UK, but you know,
take them.
I don't know. I'm fascinated with Egypt. I love I love history. So I'm fascinated with the whole pyramid thing. I'd also wouldn't mind to go to Turkey. That'd be pretty cool too. I just read that they discovered some, or they didn't just discover, but Göbekli Tepe, and there's another new one that they've just found that they've been digging through, and they reckon that's 12,000 plus years old too. So that's pretty cool. I love that type of stuff. So I go to Japan because I just love, I own Japanese cars. Like all my cars are Japanese except for my Astra, so which is a Holden. But yeah, so I'd go there for the car scene. I'd go there for some racing. That's why I love like Jimmy and Mika and that on the, I can't remember what it's called now. I follow them on the line or something, isn't it? Or
that's right.
Yeah. yeah, I love racing, so I'm kind of right into that whole scene. Like, I love the F1, I love the MotoGPs, but then again, I'm a massive basketball fan too. So yeah, I love all the NBA stuff. I'm more and more I think about, I'm such a tomboy. Like, I'm not into pink fluffy stuff and, you know, girly stuff. Like, I don't know, I just like racing. And I think because I, you know, when I was 15 and all my friends were racing, like, that's what I know. So that's, you guess, sort of, you grow up with what you have, and that forms part of who you are then. So yeah. But yeah, no, I've never gone over. So, you know, the other issue I think for me is that I got diagnosed with celiac disease in 2016. So food's a massive issue, like when you travel. So food's a massive issue just in general. Like in Australia, we went out to celebrate my other half's anniversary, the year that he'd be gone, and just went up to a local pub just up the road, 5 houses away, mind you, so it's pretty cool. And had a few drinks, nothing exciting, just, you know, toasted to him, and I ended up getting a gluten-free pizza and all that, which is fine. And came home, and it was a Thursday night, so I thought, I'm going to be sick. And I thought, oh no, I've been glutened. And I ended up power chucking all the way down my hallway to the toilet in the dark, and there was just spew everywhere. And that was from me being careful eating. So traveling with celiac is something that I don't look forward to, because it's not pleasant to get sick like that. So I'm lucky I have the real violent expellation of vomit. I've never power chucked. I even, like, to this day, like, and I don't drink a heap, but I've never chucked the way that I chuck when I get glutened. It's a power chuck. And the worst thing is, you know, because this was probably the first time I'd been violently ill since my partner had passed away. And I remember standing there because I was like in shock, and I looked down and I was just coated in puke everywhere. And I'm like, I gotta clean this shit up now. Like, and it's the last thing you want to do after you've been sick. I was coated. I was like, what in the hell's just happened? It was like The Exorcist, and it just kept coming out. And I was just like, what's going on? But that's the issue with celiac, you know, like, it's a real allergy to food and to gluten, and you don't believe how much gluten's in food, all the processed and all the stuff that you just kind of, you sit there and you just think, oh my God, like, I can't have that, I can't have that, I can't have that. So, and that's another hidden illness. So yeah, it's been terrible. Like, it's hard to get used to. You have these little food funerals, I used to call them, because that used to help me get through. Can't have, you know, the worst thing is I can't have a Tim Tam. Tim Tams are the best, and I can't have a Tim Tam. A biscuit. Chocolate biscuit.
Yeah, but they do gluten-free biscuits.
Have you tried a gluten-free biscuit?
Yes, I have.
And?
I actually quite enjoyed it.
You'd be the first person. Normally, like, it's funny, like, my taste adjusts, and because I've had this since 2016, I've adjusted to the gluten-free foods, but they're just not the same, right? So things like Vegemite, like, I can't have Vegemite, and I know most people hate Vegemite, but it just had a unique taste that is delicious. Because I've been brought up on it, I can't have that. It's just all the Aussie stuff. Like, I can have tomato sauce, which is good. But yeah, like Tim Tams. What else was it? The Kit Kats. Just like the little chocolate things that, you know, if you have a morning tea and there's cake, you can't have the cake. And I'll have another piece of fruit. How joyous. Like you just kind of, because fruit's the only thing that you can basically eat. Yeah, I've had Marmite, but yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same. So you have all these
very quickly, or was it over a period of time?
I reckon I had it for probably since about 2005. But just with the symptoms, like I thought it was normal, like until I worked out what normal was. But the for me was I was sitting in the dentist chair and they were like, do you have what's that? Do you suffer from bulimia? And I said, do I look like I suffer from bulimia? And they're like, well, your teeth are really bad. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, but I didn't twig, and neither did the dentist. But that was, I was having a lot of acid reflux from the gluten issues. And my stomach just developed over time. But what I always used to get reflux, right? So I just put it down to can't eat chili and I kind of stay away from acidic food and whatever. But it was ruining my teeth enamel. So my teeth are coated with this resin. So while they kind of look like they're not as good as David Wilcox, but they're there. But they are, every time I throw up, all I think about is my teeth, like, because of the acid and it's just what little enamel I've got left is just getting ruined. So I'm going to have dentures probably by the time I'm 60. But, so my teeth crack and break. So that was probably something that we should have triggered to a lot earlier. I'm glad I found it now. Because since I've been going back to the dentist, since this is under control, the erosion hasn't got any worse, which is great. But, I'm just lucky. I mean, I've been at work and I had a gluten attack. I got glutened. Everyone's like, oh, I actually got glutened. I was sitting on the toilet floor at work chucking my guts up, and there's nothing worse than being in a public toilet floor because you're that ill, throwing up, going, whose ass has been on this seat? Like, because that's all I was thinking about because I'm a massive germaphobe. So I had to call my boss to come back and pick me up because I couldn't get my other half because he was out in the shed doing something. And they ended up coming to work to pick me up, and she's like, where is she? And I'm like, I'm in here. And she just opens the door and I'm like sprawled on the floor. It was just, that's the worst part about having celiac. So I do have that traveling because of that, because you need a toilet and you don't control, there is no control over the power of the chuck. It is phenomenal. Like, it's like your body's just like, get out, and it's just gone. Like, and you're right as rain after, but you've got to be super, super careful with what you eat. So so that's another little Brooke-ism that I have. But yes.
I could just see you on the floor with wondering about the germs that are on the seat. It just,
whose ass has been there?
Like, it just tickled me.
It's but I do. And that was my only thought is I'm on the floor in the toilet. No, like, and you need the toilet. You have there is no choice. It's coming. So but yeah, that last one that I had just the other week, that was phenomenal. It was bad, but I seem to get worse. Much, much worse reaction now than what I have ever. So the longer you go with not eating gluten, the more severe the reaction is. So, it's just a little, I'm sure they just add it to your genetic code just to spice your life up, I'm sure. So, but yeah, don't know how I got it. Don't know what causes it. They do think that sometimes stress and anxiety can be a trigger, and I've had a fair bit of that in my life. But yeah, it's a weird one. It's possibly just inherited from my parents. They've just had the right genetic makeup to create it, and it's just the cells have turned on at a certain time in your life, and bang, it's there. So yeah, man, I was scared of what was on the floor, John. Like, you have no it was horrible. That is the celiac.
On the sides, on the seat.
You have no idea. You just, and then you're like going, and then because you're looking around and you're like, oh, this floor's dirty. And like, Lyndon, my boss, like, she knows how, like, I take my own cups and cutlery and everything to work, like, because I just, unfortunately, my workplace is not celiac friendly. So I can't use their stuff because they don't really wash things properly either. So I wouldn't use the cutlery anyway, even if I didn't have celiac. But, you know, bless them. But, you know, I take all my own stuff to work, and I don't share drinks and stuff like that. So she was cracking up laughing. I'm on the floor throwing up and she's laughing at me. I'm just like, you're the best boss ever. So, but she is actually. She's a great boss.
Yeah, let you throw up while she's giggling in the corner. Then she helps you after. That's the best, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But yeah, she's just you know, she's been a strength for me as well. Like that's why I consider myself to be a very lucky person, even though everything that's happened, especially in the last sort of year and a bit, you know, everything happens for a reason. And I remember my boss saying to me, Brooke, this is going to make or break you. And I'm like, well, this is going to make me. I'm not going to let it break me. So, you know, every day you just got to get up and get going. And, you know, like I'm quiet on some chat rooms because I'm at work and I actually can't log in. Sometimes I'll log in and say, hey, I'm listening. But, you know, the worst part is like someone will do a comment and I'll crack because I'm really loud. I'll crack up laughing and people are looking at me like, well, what's she up to? And I was like, oh, you wouldn't understand. You wouldn't even understand. So, yeah, this is a library. But yeah, no, I thought that the one good thing for me is that, you know, you connect with people, and where I work, it's a really low socioeconomic area. So everyone struggles, you know, and they do it tough. There's a lot of homeless people that come into the library, and that's their safe place to sleep during the day because they don't sleep at night because people jump them for their stuff. It's like they've got nothing. Why do you want to jump them? But, you know, like that part of it I struggle with, but I try to make the best, like give them a good day, you know, like, you know, have a conversation with people. I was having a conversation and he was a total meth head and he had scabs all over him and he was high as a kite and no one would talk to him, you know, like, so he starts talking to me about something which I won't mention. And, you know, I'm having a chat to him and I'm like, I'm not going to not talk to him. Just, I know he's a meth head. I know he's addicted and he's got issues, but they're still people. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're all still people. And then I had a lady, like, it stuck with me. It was only Thursday. And she was probably late 50s, early 60s. And she had to job seek. So we have a system in Australia where you can be on like the dole or whatever, and you have to search for jobs to meet you have to so many jobs every fortnight to meet the requirement to get your payment. And she's like, oh, I used to be 24 years I was in domestic care, and she was doing stuff like looking after people that had health issues like tracheotomies and stuff like that. So she has some skills, and she said, I've injured my back. She goes, no one's going to hire me now. And I said, hang on a minute. I said, she was asking for help with cover letters. So we help people for job seeking and all that sort of stuff. And I said, hang on a minute. So you've just done this, and this, and you're worried about how people are going to perceive you for your back injury. So you're already going in with a really negative outlook. I said, you've got some great skills. You've got this, you've got this, you've got this. And she kind of looked at me and I said, don't let that hold you back, because you need your cover letter to get you through the door. So you need to sell yourself. You need to do this, 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 and this. And had that to her. And I could just see she'd lifted, like, when she left. And that makes my day. Like, that helps me by helping people. So that's where I know, like, I found my calling. Like, I love working with the community. That's my biggest thing. I could talk a leg off a chair, really, but I don't mind. I get paid to do it. Hey, how can you can't argue with that. So yeah,
truly amazing. Like you say, the community is the best place to be.
They are. Yep. And they're valuable, every one of them. It doesn't matter. There's no judgment from me. Like, I think you need to leave judgment at the door. Like, you know, everyone's got a story, and everyone's got their own struggle, you know. And if that one conversation makes a difference to one person's life, you know, we have so many oldies that come in and we're their only outlet. They don't have any, like, family they don't keep in contact with. And, you know, we had a lady come in and she buys us cakes every year. She's got no money, and she'll buy us a Christmas present every year. And you just think, how beautiful. And I said, you don't have to do this. She goes, I want to do this. I love you guys. And, you know, those little things make such a difference. Like, you don't need when you know you're doing a good job is when you're getting feedback from the people. We rate quite highly in our council's resident satisfaction survey, the library. And that's something to be really proud of, I think. So I really enjoy that type of, I don't know, I just like that work, and that's where I'm at.
Well, you seem to be doing extremely well, considering everything you've been through. You're still so upbeat and so positive, and it seems you've certainly taken everything that you've gone through and put it in the best place you can.
Yeah. Well, that's all you can do.
The meds, like you say, are a big thing. And wow, I mean, you're an inspiration. You truly are.
Oh, thank you. It's, you know, like, if I can share some of my life and that helps somebody else, that's a win for me, you know. Everybody's different. Everyone's got their own shit that they deal with on a daily basis. But, you know, like, connecting with like-minded people is really important, and pushing those people up, you know, like lifting them up. And, you know, when, especially if they're having a bad day, you know, give them some positive feedback and give them some just good vibes, you know. Like, it's that's all you can do, you know. It's hard to sort of you could sit there and cry and go, why is me? But that doesn't work, and it messes with your energy. And I'm more about, like, trying to make the best of it, like, because I've been low and why is me. And I distinctly remember one of my best friends sitting there and going, Brooke, when are you going to stop being a victim? And I was just like, oh my God, go fuck yourself. But it really, it cut me like a knife, you know. And that comment has sat with me for, like, back when I had my car accident issues. And so I've always thought, no, let's not be a victim. Let's try and, what can you do to make yourself not a better version of you, but just, like, always say to people, this is Brooke 2.0. So and, you know, I'm an iteration. I'm going to continue to change, continuous improvement, learning new things. There's always new things out there that you can do and try. And that's all you can do. So what I think, anyway.
Have you actually been looking at some of the comments that are coming through?
I can't sort of concentrate and do them, and yeah.
Truly, they are completely. Although
the power of the chat compels you. That's funny.
Yeah, although Jex has now said that it's the mission to crack you up at work now.
Yeah, like if I hit a CW chanter live show when I'm at work, some of the honestly, the chat runs that show. Like the chat runs every show. You know, we are hilarious. When we're in Jiggy's chat room, I was in tears one day. We were talking about David Wilcock's new album, and far out, man, it was the funniest fun. I was crying. And luckily for me, my work days are Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So you'll often see me not around during those times, but I can hit like Thursday night shows and Friday, Saturday, Sundays. But yeah, like then I'm back to work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'll always go a bit quiet, and if I can get on, I will. But yeah, that's what I love about YouTube, and like having people that you can just have a good crack up with. So, you know, that makes my day. So.
And like you say, it's a community all on its own, isn't it? Like minded.
100%. Like
a laugh and a joke, and
everyone's giving him shit. You know, everyone. Sorry.
The conversation is one of their own, isn't it? The conversation actually on the YouTube at one stage can be something completely different to what's going on in the chat room.
Yeah, and the chat runs the show. Like it's hilarious because they'll be talking and it's like it's all happening in the chat. Like it's all there. And you know, and I think we make it. Like it's the type of people that you connect with. They get your sense of humor, and you know, you get theirs. And sometimes some of the comments are like golden, like hilarious. So yeah.
Wow.
I don't have much more.
It's been fabulous chatting with you. You've been amazing. Is there any
cool? I'm glad I was
or comments from the chat room for Brooke that you want to get to her? Please, if there's anything you want to ask her, I'm sure that she's open to everything. She's not a shy lady.
Yeah. I'm not. And I'm not a man, because most people think I'm a man. That's the hilarious part about it. So.
Oh. No, yeah, it's wow, what a conversation. It's been truly amazing in the most amazing sense of the word, that the story you've been through, like you say, your upbeatness and your positivity, and like someone said, that you are such a ray of sunshine in every chat room. It's it's amazing.
Yeah, I try to be funny, you know.
Jim's asked, do you think all the shows have helped on your recovery?
Yes. Like if I hadn't found the shows that I'd found, yeah, I think I spent a lot of time on my own while everyone was at work during work days, you know. So I found YouTube, and just all the shows that I watched were different. And sometimes I'd never interact. Like for a long time, I was just lurking in the background, just watching. But then I'd start to look at the chat as well and go, wow, these guys are quite funny. Like I'm going to have to tap into this. And, you know, I think like watching shows about like your shows, I think the positive mantras and that guy that Jimmy had on, that was good, because I was already doing that And I think people need to sort of tap into that type of stuff a little bit more. I think that's a big part of being a human being, is just tapping into that your inner self, and just trying to reconnect, I guess, because you get caught up with life day to day. Life's too busy. You got no time for this, no time for that. I honestly think you're worth it. Everyone's worth it to give themselves 10 to 20 minutes to do meditation or mantras or whatever a day. The best was when you get up, because that sets your day up for the, even if you're having a really painful day or just a bad day, because you can wake up in a funk, and no, that doesn't need to be put on anybody else. That's your choice to put that on people. So life's about the choices and things that you do, and I think moving forward you've got to sort of stay on that positive road. So yeah, Ray, there he is. Ray Davis. I had David in my head. I don't know why. Yes, yeah, he was cool. Like I liked that, and I just liked, because I've got the mala beads, so you go through and you've got the 108 beads, and the biggest part about that is, like, you need to believe in the affirmation that you're saying. So if you're saying I am strong, you need to feel I am strong. You see it, that you are strong, and you believe that you are strong. It doesn't work unless you do that. So you actually, if you do it properly, it's a good 20 minutes, and you've got to put the energy in. So I am happy. I do that quite a lot. And you can think of something that makes you smile, and that's what you think about every time you think I am happy. And man, the way that shifts your mood is just phenomenal. So yeah, I think that type of stuff's been really good. YouTube's a great resource for finding shows like yours, finding shows like Paranormal Hood, Chanta, Explaining Esoterica. I love all the stuff that she goes into. Zen from Unspirituality. They're just different stuff to you wet your whistle on a whole bunch of different stuff. You pick and choose what you want to take out of it. But yeah, I definitely think that it's helped me get over some bad times and laugh through some bad times, because I find that, I always say laughter is the best medicine, and I think it is. So if you can't laugh, then you got some problems. So yeah,
very true, very true.
Like
they say, laughter is the best medicine, and it absolutely is.
Yeah.
Stina's another one that's very good, John. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've just started listening to them, their Warped stuff, their Warped podcast that they do. And is that Daniel as well, I think his name is. Yeah, there's some good new stuff that's out there. It's quite funny. I just try and fill my day with a whole bunch of different stuff in between going for drives in the car and watching a bit of sport or whatever. So but yeah. That what I've said has helped somebody, because we're not alone. I think sometimes you can go through life and you think, oh, I'm so alone. But even though the situation and the cards that you've been dealt, you might be physically alone, you're actually not, because you're connecting with other like-minded people. And I think that's the beautiful part about it. So yeah. So thank you for having me on. That's what I want to say.
Thank you for coming on. I know you were so nervous about coming on as well.
I was super nervous.
And it wasn't that bad, was it?
No, it was fine. It's like ripping the Band-Aid off. Just get it done.
It is. And it's not daunting at all. Once you get chatting, you totally forget there's other people watching, but then it's only members of the family that are watching, people in the chat room, you know everyone.
That's right. Yeah. So thank you to everybody for all the awesome comments, and probably nice to put a face to the name. And yeah, it's cool. Like, you know, you just get to, you sort of feel like you know people, even though you're just chatting to them like randomly. Like, it's just weird. Like, you connect with people. So thank you to everyone for making me laugh. I think first time on YouTube ever. I don't even have Facebook. Like, I'm a super conspiracy theorist. So, you know, like I don't do that. Twitter's about my only vice, and I've got Instagram as well. But I've only just reactivated Instagram. I took a massive step back from like online stuff. So I think I deleted my Instagram or like put it on hold or something, and I've only just reactivated that, which is gambler_BGZ, because I'm a gambler. And yeah, I think it's the same as my Twitter. So yeah, Sarah takes another cherry.
It's okay. I took another cherry too. Oh, what I've been known for. Oh my. Getting a name for myself
That's
now.
not a bad thing.
No, it just means that I'm open and I'm easy to talk to. That's
You're
the way
easy.
I see it. That's what I'm telling myself. It's
yeah, no.
and I really hope that we see you on something again, or you come back and talk to us again.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be cool.
Maybe come on the line when we get that live going and we get guests on.
100. Oh, you don't want to get me talking about cars. Oh my God.
You'll be great. You can
I get excited.
Mika a thing or two.
Yeah, I know. Everybody loves you guys.
Say again, sorry.
Everybody loves you guys.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. We're just normal people.
That's right. That's what they love.
Ish. Always got to put the ish on the end. Because Dex
Absolutely.
knows nothing but normal. So, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a true pleasure to actually have you on and giving us your story.
It's pretty awesome, isn't it?
It's wow. It's an amazing journey you've been on.
Yeah, it's a journey because it's going to continue, and you know, things can only I won't say they can get better, but they certainly are on the up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are, Jim. Next week, all three of us are back together.
Yay!
Yes, all three will be back on the sofa together in one room, not in separate rooms. So we'll all be back on set all together, and you'll have the boys back doing most of the talking, and I'll be doing the producing. Looking forward to that.
Nice.
Yes. So thank you so much, Brooke. You have been an amazing guest, and I am so pleased to have had you on talking with me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and yeah, I'll definitely do this again for sure. Really enjoyed it.
I'm so pleased you have. So you take care.
I will.
And lots of love.
And I will be leaving the studio now.
Leaving the studio.
Enjoy, everybody. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm out of here.
Take care.
See you. Bye.
Oh, wow. I don't think I've laughed so much in such a long time. What an amazing woman. Such a story, but such a strong personality to go with it as well. Yes, all three of us are back next week. I'm not sure if you're aware, but we seem to be Star Wars fans in this house. It's been said. And the following week, there's some movie that's due out. We'll be talking about that anyway. That's what we're talking about. So we really hope you can join us for that. I do want to say thank you to Steve and Shazzy from Handmade. I can't remember. It's actually in the description box, but what a beautiful piece of jewelry. Yeah, I'm still trying to get him in the bikini pic for your eyes only, John. It will happen. It will happen. But an absolute beautiful piece of jewelry. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, they're actually in the credits. I've put their name in the credits. I only done it today, but yeah, my mind's gone blank on. I know Steve and Shazzy. Yes, Jimmy, Star Wars Special Week. Yes. Thank you. Yes, it's a beautiful crescent. There's two moons on there. I don't know if you actually saw the other moon. If I hold it round that way. There we go. Can you see that other moon there? Beautiful. Truly beautiful. I love it. Anyway, so I really do hope that you will all join us again next week. He can wear it. Yeah, well, don't forget, we're going to have Mika in the chat with us, John. He can't be wearing it with Mika around. That's just child cruelty. We've got to think about the child. We're going back to a family show. Let's not terrify all the viewers away. So, on that note, I'm going to say goodnight. And thank you, Handcrafts by Blue Druid. Thank you so much, Jim. I knew you'd remember it. It's a shame it's not in the same room rather than putting it in the chat. Yes, Dex, you have seen him in his birthday suit. Bless you. Poor bloke. Scarred for life. Okay, so I'm going to say thank you to Erik Stitt Art, Inquire Within, Handmade by Druid, and Speak Like Yoda Week. I'm not going to be doing that. That's not happening. The boys will. No problem. So I am going to say goodnight. And I look forward to seeing you all again next week. So thank you all for joining me. You've been as brilliant as always in the chat room. Thank you so much. So I'm going to say goodnight. And thank you for watching Invisible Illnesses and Disabilities with Sarah. Take care. Until next week when we're all back together. Bye-bye.